Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
Hello, and thank you guys so much for joining me on my radio podcast. This is the Deborah Duck Radio Podcast, all the way from Atlanta, GA. Yes, the ATL is doing its thing. Very cloudy and rainy today, but yes, we are having the rain that we really need. It has been pretty much a great evening or great weekend that we've had, and so this rain, we welcome it as we head into the spring. So thank you for listening from all over the world, from as far away as the Netherlands, Belgium, South America, Africa, Asia, Canada, Mexico. Yes, and here in the United States, my favorite place to be, Mexico, and Tampa, Florida. Yes, I got quite a few people watching from Tampa, Florida, as well as Washington, D.C. But I wanted to come on today to talk about a couple of things that would really just make you think about what's happening in the world today. Now, I always have to say this to make people understand that this is not a news station. This is not a news station. But what I do take is topics of the day that I do hear in the news and try to give you my perspective of what's happening on the street and what people are thinking on the street. So today I titled this The Cost. The Cost. And the reason that I said that or wanted to talk about that is, what is the price that you will pay? What is the price that you would pay? Now, in relationship to clothing, what is the price that you would pay for something that you really want that was a piece of clothing? How much would you pay for a piece of art? But how much would you pay for life? Or how much would you pay to be in the blessings of the Most High? Those are the questions that we sometimes don't think about that's important. It's the last thing that I talked about is the most important thing, but the most important thing to people are those material things that really at the end of the day will mean nothing to you. In a catastrophe or a situation that there's a disastrous effect, money won't help you. Nice clothes, wearing Gucci and all of this Nike and all this, that won't save you. That's not going to help you. Food and clothing, which is a basic necessity, is more important. And it doesn't, when I say clothing, I'm not talking about expensive clothing. I'm talking about anything that you can wear to protect your body. Food, water, even electricity is not important. Gas is not important. At the end of the day, what's important and what you pay for tells me what's important to you. When you look at a closet or you go into your closet and you see a number of clothing items, I know people that have things in their closet, and I used to be one of those people that you would see price tags on clothing that were never even worn. Shoes that were sitting in the closet that were never even worn. maybe once, if that, but some never even worn, just sitting in the closet as a lineup just in case I want to. Faceless, useless. And over the years, over the last few years or so, I have basically given most of that stuff up to the foundations or the needy or the thrift shops, etc. Because at the end of the day, there's no need for glout. It's not gold, it's not silver, it's not copper, it's not something that is down the line actually is going to be valuable for you. Because I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but I watched this movie called The Twilight Zone. And in The Twilight Zone, they are one step beyond, but they always have things in this particular TV show that really goes beyond what people normally would think. And in this particular show, it was 3 men, greedy men, who decided they were going to rob this bank. So they robbed the bank, they got away with it, and they took it to this mountain area where they had a hidden mountain, where they had built this like a hidden room. And in this...
Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
In this particular room, there were 3 glass cases which would preserve you for a period of time. It was simply like a time machine that would save you, and then at a certain time you could schedule that glass machine to wake you up, and you would still be your same age, you would look the same, everything would be the same. So what they did is they robbed the bank, took the gold to this particular place, and they set the machine to 100 years. That way they could come back in 100 years and they would be able to be super rich because of the gold that they stole from the bank. Bricks and bricks and bricks of gold. I mean, quite a bit. They had a huge truckload. So they set that machine, and within 100 years, after 100 years, that machine woke them up. Unfortunately, 3 of the guys that were in the machine, only 2 made it out. One of the guys, the machine that he was in, the plastic container that he was in, broke. So there was a rock or something that hit that particular machine, and so he died. But the other 2 were there. And the first thing they did when they came alive was to look to find out where was the gold. And they had the gold. The gold was there. I mean, it was great. The car that they, or the truck that they brought to that particular place that they hid, it was there. So they started taking the gold and they started putting on this truck that they had brought there. But unfortunately, after 100 years, oil is no longer good. The tires are no longer good. So they were not able to get into the truck and transport them back to what we would call the main road. So they ended up having to take some of these gold bricks and carry them in a backpack that they had to the road of which they thought was still there. So they kept walking. They finally got on the road and they started walking. It was like a desert area, like in Arizona or Nevada. And they kept walking and walking. And unfortunately, as they began to walk, they realized they didn't have any food. They didn't have any water. But they got all of this gold. All of this gold, but no water to be found around them. No water in sight. They probably couldn't even dig in the sand far enough to even get any water that may have been even way underground. So they continued to walk. They continued to walk with no water. So finally, one of the guys, he fell to the ground because he was exhausted. And so the other guy took his gold and left the guy who was exhausted on the ground to die. So he continued to walk and walk and walk. And finally, there was a car that started to pass him. Now, this car was a modern day car. It looked like a car that was in the future. And a man and a woman was in this car. And it looked like a little bubble that was just floating. But as they went to the man and they saw him, they stopped. And they looked at each other and they said, why is this man out here in this area, just walking? And so the man was saying that he needed some help to help him. Please help him. And that he would give them some of the gold bars that he had. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. He took his last breath and he died. So the gold that he had was sitting there. And so the man in the car and the woman in the car, they got out and they looked at the gold. And then they started laughing. And one of the man said to the woman, said he was offering us this gold if we would help him. They started laughing. And then the woman said, yeah, I guess it was something that the people used years and years ago, but they no longer use gold. And so they just laughed and they left the gold there. And the man had died, so he was left there with the gold. So the cost, what is the cost that you would pay for life? When gold and silver and all of those things will be nothing to you at the end of the day. They'll be worth nothing to you at the end of the day. Reaching for a higher power, reaching for what the Lord has in store for you is more important than any diamond and gold or silver and copper. And that was free. Water was free. Did they not think that somewhere in the future they would need water? They preserved themselves, but they didn't preserve water. They didn't they preserved themselves. They didn't preserve any canned food. So the question is, even now, have you prepared? Have you prepared any water? Have you prepared any substance of canned food? Have you prepared yourself to be in the midst of the Most High Yahweh? That's the question. See, it's no longer about what somebody is doing and what they're not doing. I could really care less at this point in life because we all have the same source of information. Just about everybody you know has a smartphone. And actually the smartphone, even though it's not attached to our bodies right now, That is almost what I would call the first sign of the beast. That's the first sign of the chip, is our smartphone. Because the smartphone holds everything and will continue to hold everything. So now when you look at people that got credit cards, they got bank cards, that eventually will incorporate itself into the smartphone. When you go to the airport, you won't need a ticket. You won't even need a credit card. All you need is your smartphone, because your smartphone will have everything you need on it in order to make a transaction. You won't even need to come in contact with anybody at the airport or at any particular station where you would normally pay or put your money in or put your pass in. You won't have to do any of that, because that's what the smartphone will do. And eventually that smartphone will be on you. They will incorporate that smartphone in you some sort of way, whether it's a chip that will have all of those things that you need in your body. And they said that the mark of the beast, if you understand, it will be on your body. It will be on your what? More than likely your hand. Could be on your forehead, but most likely it would what? Be on your hand. So everything that you think you need, you don't need. That's just society. That's just Lucifer. That's just the demigods telling you that you need things that you don't need, so it can distract you from your destiny of where you're going. Are you supposed to live and just wait around until the Lord gets here? No, you live. You continue to move and have your being. You live your destiny. This may be the last hour of the Lord. But remember, his hour could be 100 years. So as we get into the last hours or the last days, however you want to say it, you continue to move in your being. You still have hopes. You still have dreams. Dreams. There were a lot of dreams in the Bible. A lot of the saints, those who love the Lord in the Bible, Joseph, Noah, everybody had dreams. But a lot of these dreams were spiritual dreams that came to pass. Now, if you want to...
Presented by Climate Power Education Fund. Does big oil care about our streets flooding or our homes burning? Not according to an ExxonMobil top lobbyist.
Did we aggressively fight against some of the science? Yes. We were looking out for our shareholders.
They care about profits, not people. Learn more at polluters.exposed.
These people that is struggling at night. A lot of people sometimes, because of what's happening with COVID, people are worried with their families, jobs, and money. The best way you rejuvenate is at night, is when you have that peaceful time with the Most High, Elohim. That is when you rejuvenate your spirit. That is when things calm down. That is when your TV is off. That is when your radio is off. That is when you're listening to music that is purposeful in your life. The music that is bringing you life, not the music that's bringing you death. That is a time that your body is replenishing itself from the wear and tear of the day. And there's no way that you can do that if you have thoughts that are contrary to where the Lord wants you to be. So you have to ask and pray to be cleansed of those thoughts. No matter what the thoughts are. There could be some thoughts that you don't want to share with someone else. It could be sexual thoughts. It could be manipulative thoughts. It could be lying thoughts. It could be hateful thoughts. But you have to pray to get those negative thoughts out of your mindset so that you can focus on what you really need to do. We know that life is going to be a struggle. When Eve had her first child, to bear that pain, that was pain. And any person that have had a child know that it's pain. And even though you have your epidural and your anesthesiology, the Satan comes up with a lot of things, and you'll probably say, well, that's not Satan, that's of God to, help you get through the pain. Well, no, we were supposed to bear pain. It was a reason that we bear pain with children. It was a reason that we understood that the birth of this child means everything, and that you would not forget of what you did or what you went through to have that child. That was the birthing pain. And that man that was with you would be responsible for taking care of that child for years and years and years until that child was an adult, to lead them or him or her in the right way that they should go. That is a remembrance. But a lot of things that the Lord had planned for us, society, progression or technology, have dumbed us down. And so no one wants to be hurt. No one wants to go through any pain. No one wants to go through anything except for the good, fun stuff. That is not real life. Because we don't learn if we don't go through. And if it's something that you have not suffered from or learned from in a way that it causes you a despair, you really don't learn from it. You go back and you repeat the same thing over and over again. It's like getting a woman that you know that's street, ghetto, alley, and you may be a good man, but you go back and do the same thing, mess with the same woman over and over again because she looks good. There are women that look good, but they also love the Lord. And the Lord is what is holding them up. They look at the Lord, the Most High God, Yahweh, as number one. God is first. Man is second. God is first. Woman is second. But like I said, I want to come on to you today to tell you what is the cost. What are you willing to pay? Now, I left a link in. I'm going to leave a link here in the podcast. You guys probably have read it by now or seen it. But there is a Chinese bowl. It's a Chinese bowl. And a lot of you guys who go to Chinese restaurants and order rice or certain dishes, you've noticed that a lot of the Chinese dishware is the color of blue and white. So there's this blue and white bowl that was bought at a yard sale for $35 that sold for over $700,000 this week. It's a Chinese 15th century artifact. Beautiful bowl. It looks like any bowl that anybody would ever see. If you was to see it, it wouldn't mean anything to you. It's just a bowl to eat out of. So my question, and I always have to say that, what is the cost that you would pay for something that you want? But it's a part of Chinese culture. It's a part of that era of the 15th century. So it's what we would call a very expensive historical piece. But just think about it. If there was a disaster today or tomorrow, what would that bowl be worth? So thank you guys so much for joining me on my radio podcast. I just wanted to give you guys some food for thought as far as moving past what you see with coronavirus, moving past what you see about some of the hideous things that you do hear. I'm not sure if you heard about it. A guy here killed 8, here in Atlanta, killed 8 people at a spa, at an Asian spa. Now, you probably say, what happened? My first thought process, and this is how I think, was that whoever did it, it has something to do with sex. Because on the outside, when you look at these spas, just like a lot of gyms that people go to, there's a lot more that goes on that we don't hear about or that we're not supposed to know about. But if you go into these massage parlors, these Asian massage parlors, you're getting massaged more than just your back or your leg. You're getting massaged in those private places that you have. And so a lot of people go into these massage parlors to get that good feeling so they can get massaged on their knob. Now, I'm not saying all massage parlors do the same thing, but I was willing to bet when I heard this and 8 people got killed, I knew it was a sexually orientated incident that happened. So the young man, it was a white young man, I think the age of 23 or 27, was in his 20s. He said he had a sexual addiction. And see, this is what I'm saying. He goes into the massage parlor, pays his money, and now they're giving him a massage. So you get a massage on your bones, and a lot of people get massaged. A lot of sports players get massage on their bones and stuff because they have participated in sports and they're sore and they're trying to get their their body muscles relaxed. But and I know that when a person massages your skin is sensitive in certain areas, and you're going to get triggered, a sexually triggered way when a person is massaging you. That's why in a lot of relationships, a woman gives a man a massage, whatever. Next thing you know, he gives her a massage. Next thing you know, they're ready for sex. And you don't think that's going to happen in a massage parlor, you're sadly mistaken. So a lot of things happen in the massage parlor as well as these gyms. A lot of stuff happens in the gyms, especially here in Atlanta, because Atlanta is like the #1 gay capital in the world. So you got a lot of men who are in that gay lifestyle who go to the gym just to encounter other men in the showers, etc., etc. So I know that these guys was glad that the gyms open up here in Atlanta. I'm just saying, okay? To continue that lifestyle, to get back into that lifestyle, to meet men who say or in the open act like they're not gay, but behind these gyms and in these showers, they are getting sexual favors done. I mean, it's no strange. Everybody knows that here in the Atlanta area when it comes to a lot of these health spas. And I'm not saying that women are not doing it, but men are really doing a lot more. And as I said before, he shot and killed 8 people and was on his way someplace else, I think to another Florida, go down to Florida to shoot more people. So here in Piedmont, which is a street in Buckhead, is a rich area of Atlanta, he shot people at once.
Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
On one side of the street and then went on the other side and shot some more. 8 people were killed because of a sexual fetish. And you probably said, these are innocent people. Why he hit? No, these are not innocent damn people. They knew they knew what they were doing. They know that what lifestyle that is. So you can't partake in something and then wash your hands and say you didn't know, like you so innocent and shit. They was a part of it. They worked there. They knew what they were doing. Oh, she was such a nice person. She would never hurt anybody. Yeah, she was jagging this guy off in a certain sense. And he got used to it. Probably didn't have any more money. That's what it was. If he had plenty of money, he wouldn't have had to worry about it. He can go in there and get his sexed up every day. The problem is that he used probably all his money, didn't have more money left. Probably couldn't steal it or get it from any kind of way. But he still had the urges to want to get his knob sobbed. And now became angry because he couldn't do it and figured that if it wasn't for them, he wouldn't have had this problem. See, that's where responsibility hit. If they hadn't did it, I wouldn't have got this habit and I wouldn't have killed him. Now, they're going to treat him as if he's a criminal because he killed these Asians. But if it had been a black parlor, a black situation where a person had went in that was black and got his mob sobbed or whatever and came back and killed, they would have said he was crazy and ended up going to the mental hospital or whatever, okay, because that's how it would have rolled. But because they were Asian and because lately the Asians have been in the news because of the coronavirus and hate against Asians, all of that stuff would have fought. That right there is a reason why they got to put him under. See, they can't have a situation where the Asians are being feel like they're being targeted. Because first of all, Asians going to speak up. Asians really don't say nothing. They don't want to get into the mix. They don't like to get into publicity. They don't like to do none of that. Asians just like to damn work, build their business, help their own people, and keep it moving. And they'll do whatever they need to do in here in America.
Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.
In order for that to happen. You know, because there's a lot of pedophilia that goes on in these Asian countries. Y'all know it, the Philippines, Indonesia, all of that. India, all of that is going on in these countries. And a lot of these adults got these young kids, boys and girls, and they will pimp them out in order to make it. It's sad that it happens, but it is what it is. And so when they come to America, that tendency doesn't stop. That lifestyle of trying to make it, it doesn't stop. And they see that they can make a lot of money doing this without actually having to have to do the really sexual intercourse, okay, but arouse them enough where they can do whatever they need to do to touch their bodies to have them ejaculate and go off. So no, the Asians, you guys are not innocent. Y'all not innocent. At the end of the day, you guys were a part of his sickness. You played into part of his sickness. But anyway, I'm getting ready to get out of here. You guys have a great day, and we will talk later. One love. Be blessed.
Cox can help make your home smarter and your life easier. Now you can use your Contour voice remote to connect to your home life cameras so you can view them right on your TV screen using simple voice commands. That makes it easy to keep tabs on what's happening around your home right from your couch. Need to keep an eye on the kids when they're playing outside? Just say, "Show me my backyard camera" into your Cox voice remote and watch them while you're in the house. And if you're waiting for a delivery and want to make sure it's there on time, no problem. Just say, "Show me driveway camera" to check on it with your Home Life HD cameras on the TV screen while you go about your day. When you live in a home powered by Cox Internet, you can stay connected to what matters and let Cox take care of the rest. To learn more about all the benefits of your connected home, visit cox.com/thisishome today.
Support for this episode has been provided by George Washington's Mount Vernon. Offering 160 wide-open, wanderable acres, Mount Vernon invites you to connect with over 200 years of history. Far more than a mansion, the first president's estate is home to 4 picturesque gardens and shaded woodland trails, even a cruise of the Potomac River. Visit mountvernon.org to learn more. To save 20% on tickets, use promo code OPEN.
Switching to Geico is a good idea, especially when you consider everything.
First off, Geico makes it easy to switch. They have licensed agents available 24/7 online or over the phone.
But if it's so easy, you might start thinking everything is easy, even big wave surfing. And it's not. It's actually quite difficult.
Well, if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds on car insurance. And you could keep saving by bundling your motorcycle, boat, and RV, plus your home or renter's insurance.
But saving money might lead you to make some questionable purchases, like a 20-foot feather boa. And do you know how hard it is to clean a 20-foot feather boa?
Well, they do have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver.
But when life gets a little easier, it makes you too confident, and you start calling everyone Ace. And you're better than that.
Well, Geico has a 97% customer satisfaction rating and has been saving people money for 85 years. It's hard to beat that.
But you're right.
Switch to Geico. It's obviously a good idea.